Oh, come on. That's better than one, haven't we?
Yeah. Is that right?
That's
all right.
Sound, that's good.
There we go.
Yeah.
Hi, Lee.
Nice to see you.
Hi, mate. So this is the first time I'm coming live to do this, guys. So this is Lee Hunter.
Yeah, you all right?
And he's a wrestler for Elevation.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Yeah. So how long have you been with Elevation for?
This is going to be just close to my first year. I was quite lucky that Joe Connors contacted me and asked me to be a part of the company and do some work for him. So I was truly grateful, and to see how it's all growing really strong, really fast. And he's basically come forward and says, "Would you like to do more? Would you like to do more training?" So I'm well pleased and happy that Joe kind of gave me that opportunity, if you're going to say.
Yeah. How long did it take you to train to be a wrestler?
So I've been training probably since I was 13, and I'm 39 now.
Right.
So I've been training over 20 odd years, and you never stop. You learn all the time new things, new styles, new ways, and that's just like any walk of life. Every day is a training day, and every day. As you would say.
You learn. Is there anything you've learned from wrestling that when you first started?
Yeah.
First ever started when you were younger. Like I've watched things about Edge and stuff like that, where he was with his training partner, and they started when they were young kids as friends, and then Is there any person that helped you get into the wrestling?
There's a massive list. Obviously,
give me a main one.
My brother would be the top one. Because we trained together,
you've been together for a while.
We've wrestled together, we've done ring guys together, we've been training together. So it was always good to have someone you could always ask, if you got your back, you can always ask someone, what do you think, what should we do, how should we, even if you disagree on it, even if you didn't like it, you've always got someone you can trust. I would say that's the best thing. And there's so many names I could list that
it would take all day.
Yes, it would be all day.
We haven't got all day.
And they looked after me, and they've taught me how to do things, and they've shown me the way, and they've been really grateful, and I'm grateful back to them, and I've had to show so much respect to all these people who've helped me along the way.
Is there any companies that you've wrestled for in other countries other than our country, and what is your experience with their fans towards the fans like at Elevation? Is there any difference? Because obviously I've seen WWE, AEW, and when you watch WWE, it's very different to AEW. The fans are different from that. I've noticed a difference between the two. Do you see any difference between the fans that you've met other countries to our country, or?
Yeah, of course. Everyone has a different style and a different way they like to see things, and how they wanted to kind of feel the atmosphere and the adrenaline towards it all. Yeah. So it just depends. Even if you just go to the top of the country, into the north, into Scotland, there's a different wilder style to everything. And even if you go down to London, they're a bit more. They want a bit more about it. You know what I mean? They want a bit more action after each other. And then you travel over the world, and it's totally different again. And it can be a massive surprise how you could walk out there and you think no one's going to know who you are. And they're loving it, and they're cheering and you're clapping you, and you've got a little fan board. And you're like, wow, that's amazing. You've come all the way out somewhere else, and there's people who kind of want to see you.
Right, so guys that are watching, they probably will listen to your accent and listen to my accent. And I wonder where we're both from. Well, I can tell the viewers on my YouTube channel, I'm from Leicester. If you followed Adam Life events before, my podcast before, you'll know I'm from Leicester, but I'm not giving my location away on YouTube because... Yeah, I'm not doing that because it's not something really I want to do on here. But you're not from here, are you?
No, I've only moved to Leicester the last few years ago. I'm from Tipton. So if you know Peaky Blinders, Ozzy Osbourne's from Dudley, that's around the corner. That kind of accent. West Brom, up the baggies, boing, boing, we're close to there. So we're all there really, yeah. It's different stuff, different way of talking, different kind of people.
What have you noticed about Leicester that's different from Tipton? So when you're in Tipton, what is different, other than obviously certain things. Is there anything in Tipton that you're missing, or do you like it being here now that you're actually here?
Obviously, moving from your home, you're always going to miss your friends and your family.
Well, yeah,
That's the one thing. And you've grown up there, you know what it is, you know the people from there, you know what's going on around you. Leicester's all fields and rain. I've never seen so much rain in my life. Leicester gets so much rain, so many rainbows, and all fields, and I know, and the towns are beautiful. There's some lovely places in Leicester. Where's that park?
Abbey Park, Braggett Park.
Braggett Park.
I love it.
Oh, beautiful! It's really nice up there.
Nice place.
Yeah, it's some real nice places. So Tipton's all a bit industrial and stuff. So it's massive difference.
Just remember, guys, this is my first time doing an interview on my YouTube channel, so it may be a bit tricky because I've not wrote down questions.
Yeah, we're doing this on the wing. We're flying this one today.
Yeah,
and we've got to do a post on that.
Yes, we have. Yes,
Yeah,
which we'll be doing. So, guys, if you're watching this, I'll be having him on my normal podcast after his wrestling match. And who are you going against?
Sashish Cash today, and he's the Elevation champion. So I want to put one on him today for special reasons. And I've got, it's a triple threat. I've forgotten my other opponent.
It is a triple threat.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
No, I can't remember the card, but I know Sashish Cash is there, and I'm gunning for him really today. I'm going to put one on him for
give him one of the Hunter specials.
Yeah,
I'll
give him one.
I know you will. So another thing, I made sure I did ask some questions on my social to people before I came live, and one of the questions I had, because I've not wrote anything down, they asked me, what injuries have you had, and what has been the worst injury you've ever had, and how long did it take for you to heal?
I've killed myself so many times. I've torn my bucket cartilage in my right knee. That was very painful. I had that operated on. I tore my ACL, and I chose to leave that, so I've always struggled with that. I landed on my neck on a manoeuvre training, and I got a stinger. A few people will remember that when I did that, and I couldn't lift my arm up. I was in so much, and that's still there. That can still play me up. And recently, I've done there's a band down the side of your leg called the IT bands. I didn't know this. I've done it at COVID, and it's slowly got worse and worse. And I'm saying I've shifted it over. I've done something. And that's really playing some games. I mean, now I can't squat down and get down and stuff, so that's really.
Bit like Kurt Angle's had his injuries. I mean,
Kurt Angle's a different machine to me.
I'm not quite sure about Kurt Angle at the minute, mate. But anyway, another thing I'd like to ask you that my followers have asked me.
Yeah.
Is there ever been a particular match? I know this was probably coming. A particular match or a place that you've wrestled that you've enjoyed the match, and where you actually went to, is there any particular place you've gone and you've enjoyed the match and it's gone the way you wanted it to go?
That's a good question, mate.
You see,
there's so many. Even when a match, you look at it and you think, oh, this ain't gonna go down, or this ain't gonna go right, and it's just fell into place so comfortably, and I've actually enjoyed it, and the guys around you have kind of pulled you up to force you to really go for it, and you can feel the crowd just get drawn into it and are attached to it. But there's so many matches, and there's so many people. Like, I've been so lucky for my career to span through so many generations of wrestlers that I've got to wrestle with so many people. That's really difficult. I'll have to really, really think about that one, because
you will.
Because there'll be. I'll say one match, and then I'll be like, oh, there was that one.
What we can do, you're coming back on the podcast. So that's a question you can think about.
Yeah. I've got one that's dropped in my head really fast. There was one in Sheffield, and we got to wrestle. Me and my brother got to wrestle.
Yeah.
The Addiction. What was Frank Kazarian. And Chris Daniels and stuff. And obviously they was top guys, and we remember Christopher Daniels from the FWA era, so we was quite excited to wrestle him. And the match was really put down well, and it forced us to kind of go, right, okay, they've set a bar, and we're gonna have to level up to it. And they was really polite to us at the end and said, wow, that was excellent. So that was nice.
Yeah,
Compliment to
I
me
get what you mean.
to trying to fuel the fires, and it got it going and things like that.
Now, is there a tag team that you would like to come to Elevation that you get on with, that you've not got any thing towards, that you actually get on with them, but you would like them to come to Elevation and make a debut and be in Elevation for some time? Is there any? And I mean, that's another hard question, but you knew I was going to ask you these questions because I'm a podcaster.
Put us on the spot.
Yeah, but I'm a podcaster. That's what
I know. I'll give you two teams actually.
Go for it.
There's the Smoking Aces with Garrett and Nick from Progress. We ain't had much. We never really got much time in the ring with them. So it'd be nice to kind of get in the ring with them.
Yeah.
And the Sunshine Machine. Really strangely enough, I think we've only ever wrestled them once or twice. And you know, for a team that's done so much and been around so much, we never got a chance to do much with them. So I guess that would be nice to get in the ring with them and have a bit of a roll around with them.
Now, if I was going to choose your tag team to
go on then, yeah, go on.
This will shock you.
Mm.
I would choose the UK Pitbulls.
Oh, I ain't seen them for
you know, the big
beard,
David, the great big fat dude, the one with the massive beard.
Yeah, bulk and that, yeah. You know,
I would have you guys against them because I've never met them.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to meet them pair because the big guy just reminds me of the guy from Holland for Sue.
You know how crazy that is? When we was training, I would have been about anywhere from 17 to 18 years old.
Yeah.
We wrestled them in a couple of TLC matches with the coal miners. That's going back some time. That was in Birmingham and maybe in Stoke.
I like
really long time, and that was a long time. So it would be good to see them again if there's.
Probably the only other one would be Jim Dyard and his partner.
Oh yeah, the henchman.
I'd like to see. I bet you've wrestled henchman.
Yeah, we've had a couple of good ones with them.
He used to be called the E-Train. He did years ago. He used to dress up like a clown. At Coventry, Triple X Wrestling.
Yeah, I remember Triple X.
I used to love Triple X.
Yeah,
now you wouldn't take your kids to that one.
No,
that wasn't a kiddie one. That was you had to be 18 plus to go to them.
Some great matches, great people.
Well, I've only seen some of them.
Yeah, true.
A lot of them you'll see in this company, guys, have wrestled.
Yeah.
For Triple X, and the guy that owned it, Nick, very good wrestler.
Yeah.
But Nick had problems with his legs.
Yeah.
And I know that Nick had told me a couple of times he had to stop it due to that. So then he made the company come.
Yeah.
And the company came along. That's how he did it.
They had a bit as well. They had AMP as well. They ran a bit of AMP in there in Triple X. And remember Devil Man?
Oh, Devil! I love Devil Man.
Man, what a guy! Great
and
job.
Fanboy.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's still going around, but I remember watching him.
I can't remember. Magic. Yeah. They've all kind of
insanely good.
Yeah. They've all just done the thing and moved on, I suppose.
And that's another question I was going to get to. Yes, let's do it. When you have done all the challenges you've got in wrestling, would you like to own your own wrestling school and make your own wrestling company, a bit like what Joe's done with Elevation? Not? That's the question.
We had a run of our own training place.
And how did it go?
We done 14 years.
That's amazing.
We done 14 years.
Thank
you very much. And we used to hire the ring out and stuff, and that was every weekend whenever we got a chance. That was hard work. It was rewarding and it was tough, but it was good. And I think if there was one last challenge I'd have to take on would be trying to run a company, trying to run shows.
Because what I think I've learned from wrestling in the time that I've watched wrestling and seen people interviewing people on streams and stuff, famous wrestlers, after so many years, it takes a toll on your body. For an example, Lou Ferrigno, the Incredible Hulk. He did it for so long as the Hulk.
Yeah.
And then obviously they wanted to stop the show on TV, so it ended. But his career never ended because then he went into TV, he went into doing Ferrigno Fit, and carried on doing it. But there comes a point where your body won't do it anymore.
Your brain's still saying you can, but your body.
You could jump in and then snap your ligaments, and then that's you out for months and months.
Man, you just got to push yourself, ain't you? That's the truth, ain't it? If you can't give up, I suppose.
And I did promise you when we talked on Instagram, I would tell you about my charity bike ride stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's all right telling you on social, but it's I'm on the pod thingy, so I might as well tell you.
Yeah.
So I've been doing charity bike rides for nearly, next year will be 7.5 years.
Brilliant stuff. Congratulations.
I appreciate that.
That's brilliant.
It's something I feel dedicated to.
No, that's excellent.
Something it was always a plan in my life that I had to, because I haven't always done this podcast.
No.
I haven't always done my friends. That was in COVID that I started it, believe it or not, guys. COVID.
Yeah.
I started it as a way of trying to help my mental health.
Yeah.
Because I had mental health in COVID. I didn't handle it very well.
Okay.
So my mum and my best friend at the time, which isn't anymore, was like, "Oh, you've got to do something. You can do something. You talk loads and you listen to podcasts. So why don't you go and do it?"
Yeah, that's a good.
And then I was like, "Oh, do you know what? Yeah, I am actually quite good at talking. I'll go for it." And then I started Ad Life Fence. Then it was called Anchor Podcast. Now it's called Spotify Podcasts.
Yeah.
And I just started talking and doing things about my life, how I've coped, and different sections, stories, and all sorts of things. And then when I got into about season 3, I thought, I've got to try and interview people, otherwise people are going to get bored of hearing the same stuff. So then I went on social media and I tried to find individual people, famous people, like authors. I found, not that she's my style, but Sue Moorcroft. If you're watching, Sue, hello. But I'm not, she does romance novels, dark romance novels.
Yeah.
They're not, your partner might like them. Yeah. Women might like them. Not really my strong point.
Well, I might like them if I read.
You might, if you like reading that kind of the jizzle jozzle. Go ahead, Leslie. No, I don't like it. I do not like it. Can't do without romance slot.
You never know.
No, thank you. You can laugh. I've interviewed David Chancellor, which is a National Geographic filmer, documentary and director.
Nice.
I want to have him back, but I've not heard from Dave in a very long time.
I'm gonna guess he's busy.
He is, because he works closely with like David Attenborough and a lot of people like that.
What a legend, yeah.
And he also told me on the podcast, guys, that what we see on screen is not how it goes. Sometimes he says you can have some right people that are working on these documentaries, and it may look like they're having fun, but they're not. No, it's just it's just their way of living and how they pursue things.
Yeah. It's got to be intense, and you've got to be there on it all the time.
He said he lived in Madrid for a few years, and he moved over to I don't know what jungle place. He went over there for a long time. Yeah. He says it's not as easy as you think. It's not like they go to Africa and then all of a sudden they move to Switzerland.
No,
you have to stay somewhere for like a year, 2 years, and then move. Ooh. And I think he's originally from South London or something like that. But he was very posh how he talks, and obviously I'm not. We know that.
Yeah, fair play. I've got a good question though before.
Go on then. I love these questions. Go for it. I can answer.
Now I've moved to Leicester.
Yeah.
Where do you think Leicester City Football Club's going to finish in the Premier League this season? If they finish in the Premier League. That's my prediction. I don't think they're going to finish up there. What do you think? What do you want out of it?
Well, now we've got the new manager.
Yeah.
Which I know he was Manchester United. I know he played. He had a career. But as you know, even in wrestling, just because you've had a career in something doesn't mean you can put it on the pitch.
No, that's true.
But I think my head says mid-table. My heart says 17th.
Yeah, I think if you're lucky if you get 7th. Well, you've done very well to kind of get 17th and
that's what my heart says.
But you always know about Christmas, don't you? Christmas time, where the brackets are, you can kind of see where you're going to be. You know what I mean? So hopefully they start getting a few wins.
Yeah, right, guys. Before I end it, I've got one final question to ask him because he's got to go and prepare.
Yeah, I've got to get ready. I've got to do a match.
So time is clocking on, guys. So I want to know what has been your favourite moment in the whole of your wrestling career. And you've had a long career. Tell everyone how long your career's been.
I can't even remember my own career. It's about 20 odd years, maybe.
20 odd years in business. Yeah. What's been your favourite moment and why?
Probably traveling around, seeing things, traveling with people, asking them questions such as this,
Yeah.
and just getting to know people. And you get to see stuff, getting to know people, getting to talk to people, and sometimes that's the best part. You know what I mean? Traveling up there, being excited to get into the match, coming out of the match, coming off the adrenaline. Yeah, it's like a roller coaster.
And one quick last thing.
Yeah.
What is the hardest thing when you're in the ring? Because a lot of Phil asked me to ask you this.
Okay.
He's asked you before.
Yeah.
How does it feel? You know, when you're hitting off the ring and we see all these people in the ring, like outside the ring, we see what goes on in there, but we don't know how it feels. I mean, you see all red marks on the chest and the back.
Yeah.
How does that generally feel after a match? Do you recover easily in a week, or do you have to use special creams to get away the burns, or how does it all work?
It all takes time. It's all hurts. You know what I mean? And the more you do, the more your own mind says to yourself that I can take it. But it's like being bashed in every time with a car. You know what I mean? It's only got to take one really bad fall,
And you've had it.
and then you could not shake
Like
off
the bloke that was out for 12 months.
Yeah.
And that wasn't a good one, but this is a dangerous thing
No.
to break.
So you're taking the gamble, you're taking the chance every time, and every time it hurts, and you've just got to keep going. The more you don't think about it, the more you can take it.
Well, I just want to say something to you guys. Give me a second.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for being my first ever YouTube bloody interview. Lee Hunter, my main man. Look at this beautiful person.
We got to do a post on it after.
Yes.
Yeah, we're doing a post.
Right, guys. Thank you.
No, thank you. Cheers, man. See you again.